Alright guys, now it's time to learn a little bit about landscape planning. A couple of things to make note of up front before you get started is, let me flip the house up here okay, is that you have to have 6 inches of exposed concrete from your slab. Excuse me. In other words, the dirt cannot come up higher than, 6 inches from the bottom of your siding, your brick, your whatever siding that you're using. All right, so basically right about here where my mouse is where the soil should come up to. And it's, 6 inches is the number to remember. So I'm going to go back up to the top. And actually, I'm going to go to my site plan, which is right over here in the project browser. If you don't have a site plan, it's probably because you accidentally deleted it or something like that. That is okay. Just copy one of your level 1s over to it, and or just copy a level 1 and just name it site. That's all you have to do. So I'm going to go into my site plan. All right. And I'm going to start in the tab. Let's see, what tab was it? Massing and site. No, yeah, massing and site. Massing and site and Toposurface. Okay, so the Toposurface is going to help us, set the different levels of the earth. Now, typically on most houses, they come in with bulldozers and graders and stuff like that, and they level out the spot that the house is going to sit on. They bring dirt in or they take dirt out, whatever they have to do to make that location where the house is at, as flat as possible. And it's usually pretty flat and pretty well graded, out away from the house a little ways. Of course, they want to maintain a slope away from the house so that water doesn't, pool up right next to the house or even in your house. So typically, larger lots may have some variations in elevations, and larger lots that with larger lots that would need to be annotated, and you would just pretty much follow the surveyor's measurements and transfer those measurements to your plan so that your plan has an accurate site to it. Here we're just going to be creative with it, and we're going to make kind of a site plan of our choosing. And when I click on Toposurface, okay, now it's in. I can place points. It's asking me to place points in different locations, and those points are elevation points. And you see your elevation setting is right here. So remember, I said we needed to be 6 inches below the bricks or whatever, or the siding on the house, or basically you want to have 6 inches of exposed concrete for your slab. So I'm going to set a number of -6 inches. Okay, not 6 feet or anything like that. Make sure you put the negative first. Okay, and now every dot that I place is going to be 6 inches below that level 1, that ground level. Okay, so I'm going to do this just kind of right up around the house to begin with for my 6-inch depth. And as you go along, you'll see it'll place these lines, these elevation lines. Okay, and that doesn't have to be straight by any means, perfect in any way. All right, so, and again, from here, I want a continual slope downwards from this point. So all of my numbers are going to be negative. Okay, so let's say I do the next one at a -10 inches, and then I come out here away from the house a little bit and place some markers for 10 inches. Okay, so now those are -10 inches, and there will be that gradual slope to the yard that would slope water away from the building. Now, if you're building this in like a neighborhood or designing this for a neighborhood, a lot of times, of course, again, you'll have some survey data to go by. But as you notice that, maybe your house, I know my house does, that the front yard kind of slopes down towards the street, and that provides really a perfect drainage scenario to where all the water kind of drains out of your yard and into the street instead of into the neighbors' yards. And that's, really for neighborhoods where houses and stuff like that are really close. So if you want that steep slope in the front, and of course it does help with your design aesthetics to have that as well, you'll want to step out to that. So I might do something like a negative 15 inch drop, and I'll just kind of place a few markers out front. Okay, and then I might do something drastic, like maybe 24 inches, and I'll come out here a bit further. Okay, and you can see now it's creating some additional elevation markers. Okay, or elevation lines, I should say. All right, and maybe it goes out a little wider. Okay, like so. All right. So though I think it's like every 10 feet is where you have those marks, those lines, every 10 feet, I believe it is. I believe it also is where you can change the setting of where that sets up or whatever. But that's not important. Just wanted you to kind of understand what those lines were doing. All right. So now we can say that we, probably have a pretty good situation going on here. And you may want to, bring your Toposurface out back here, so you can put some trees and stuff like that. So I'm going to take this back to 15 inches and place, or actually negative 15. And place some more markers out here. Okay. Give myself a big property and a lot of places to put big trees. All right, and let's say, just for the heck of it, you wanted there to be some sort of a hill back here. So I'm going to change this now to, let's just say 10 feet, okay? 10 feet in the positive. All right, so the yard will kind of back up into an escarpment of sorts, like so. And then we just click the green check mark when we're done. And we can go into 3D view and check out our work. So we'll spin it around. Okay, and you can see the elevations of everything. All right, and we can even, let's add some color to this. Okay, so what you see right now is dirt. All right, and you can see my house kind of underneath the dirt. Okay, and to get a good idea of the topography, we can turn on our crop view, or our select section box is what it's called. Bring this section box right up to about there. Okay. Get a good right shot, and now you can see how everything kind of slopes back. It's really hard to see because it's so dark. Go to shaded, that's better. Okay, so you can see in the background here where the land goes upwards, and then back over here where it goes upwards. Then it comes down up here, and I need to kind of fix this right here with some of the other elevations that I placed. It sort of created a upslope right there, and I don't want that. All right, so I can always go back into my site plan and adjust some of these levels. edit surface. Okay, so I can adjust these. This one is, oh, that one is at 2 foot. Let's make that a negative 2 foot. I believe that was a mistake when I was entering the information. Okay, so if you do see that, it's probably because you did like I just did and entered the wrong information. I need to be negative 2 foot instead of 2 foot. And adjusting these as simple as just clicking on the dot. Okay, and you can see as I go there, the elevation lines are changing. What is this one? Okay. All right, that's probably good. Let me check this one. Let's do that one, a negative 2 foot also. What is this one? Let's go ahead and take that into the negative. All right, so it should be pretty good. All right, so we'll go back to our 3D view. And that looks a lot better. Okay, so now that front is sloping, continuously sloping downwards. All right. Of course, you can have that as steep as you want it. If you want it like some of the yards that are in the neighborhood behind us. Actually, let me go ahead and click on the green check mark to get rid of that. But if it's like on some of the houses behind us in the neighborhoods, you might have a much steeper slope out here in the front. Probably a difference of, about 5 to 10 feet from the front of the house to about right out here. Okay, now what it does as you're placing these lines is, Revit goes ahead and automatically makes the best transition decisions between those points. As you can see here, it's a gradual elevation, not a like a really sharp, steep elevation. Okay. So that's how you do dirt. Okay, so now you can tell your parents that you learned how to draw dirt. Next video, I will show you how to place trees and why you want to place them that way.